some intense moments of panic followed by confusion here at the Savoy Apartments on Wooddale Boulevard. As you can see behind me, we still have a lot of people who were displaced out of their apartments. Pat said it was over 90 degrees. Trust me, the people out here feel every degree of that right now. They've been out here for hours. The call came in at about 1:30. You still see the Baton Rouge Fire Department is on the scene. They're starting to wrap up their investigation into what caused that fire. And if you can see up there, that second-story window with the yellow rope hanging from it, we're told by eyewitnesses that two roommates actually had to jump out of that window. And now we still do not know whether or not Governor Jindal will try to remove the state from the Common Core standards that were adopted with Jindal's support 4 years ago. I asked him that question in particular, and he responded that he and his team are looking into it. Now, the Lafayette City Police Department is in charge of the investigation in this case. They say they continue to follow leads and tips, but nevertheless, the evacuation order remains in place for those that live within a mile of the blast site. And as you can see behind me, Highway 190 in both directions remains closed. And we begin with that breaking news on this Monday. Welcome to News 2 at noon. I'm Jason Newton in for John Pastorek. A special meeting that was set for today to name a temporary mayor for Port Allen has been canceled. So we start the week with coats and jackets. We end the week with short sleeves and umbrellas.
Gotta love Louisiana weather. Crazy weather like that.
Changes every day. Victor, the good news to report on this one is that everything appears to be under control. As we speak right now, the Division of Forestry is packing up their bulldozers. You can see them pulling it onto the trailer here. Now, those little bulldozers, what they do is they plow a ring around the fire, around any brush fire, and they have a big tiller on the back of it. Here's the actual plow line. They put up a ring, a perimeter around, and the firefighters get inside of that perimeter so they can battle the blaze, also try to keep it contained within this perimeter. It clears out some of the dry brush and replaces it with moist soil coming up from under the ground. Estruma High School has a long and storied history in Baton Rouge, but now, after the state's Recovery School District decided to close the high school, vandals have started to take advantage. Our cameras Tuesday caught a truck full of men packed high with equipment, leaving Estruma High School in a hurry. Whatever they were doing, they had no business being on a closed campus, and neighbors say they were stealing equipment.
It's time for someone to step up and to help with this school.
There's been better days in the long history of Estruma High School. After a takeover by the state-run Recovery School District, obvious signs of neglect are visible all over the shuttered campus. From a broken water pipe that continuously floods an outdoor bathroom to shards of glass from a broken window providing access inside the school's recreation facilities.
The whole entire school is open, so anybody can come here and do whatever they please.
It appears that theft and vandalism are common. Kendall Lamott graduated from Estruma and says that all the welding equipment was left inside when the school closed, and now it's gone.
The welding room looks like there is no welding room. All of the equipment is basically gone. Someone has broken in and pushed everything to the front like they're just going to bag their truck up and come get the rest of it.
She also says the weight room is missing dozens of barbells and free weights that were also left behind. Outside, the football stadium also fell victim to suspected thieves. We're told that the football stadium bleachers were installed here at Estruma about 3 years ago. And as you can see, somebody has come and unscrewed individual aluminum bleacher seats and taken them out. Baton Rouge police say the aluminum bleachers are probably being sold for scrap metal.
And I'm very hurt. I'm very hurt to see that this school has gotten to this point.
Recovery School District officials denied an on-camera interview, but they told me they are working with Baton Rouge police regarding these allegations of theft on campus and that they will now hire private security for the school. The call came in at 1:30. People poured out of the Savoy Plaza apartments on Wooddale to escape the blaze.
Immediately went into the rescue mode of numerous notifications of people trapped in the building.
The smoke trapped inside the enclosed apartment building, making it almost impossible for residents to see as they tried to escape.
When I opened the fire door, the smoke immediately hit me. I couldn't breathe, and so I mean, if I held out my hand, I couldn't even see my hand in front of me. That's how bad the smoke was.
One man who escaped looked on as others tried to find a way out from the second story.
he was saying that it was too dark, that he didn't know which way to go, he didn't know what was going on, and they was telling him, come right here towards the middle, you know what I'm saying, that's the only way you could probably get out. They don't know where the fire it has started at. He ended up pulling up his window, and his roommate was like, forget it, I'm about to jump.
The man eventually did jump, then we're told he backed up his truck to give his roommate something tall to escape onto. The whole situation caused panic and confusion, but now everyone is counting their blessings.
It was kind of shocking at first, but reality set in. I'm just glad that everybody's okay.
13 people in all were rescued from inside their apartment units. The Red Cross is assisting those families who do need help, and right now there is no word yet on what caused this fire.
A quick trip into Bay Natchez and you'll soon notice the water gets rough.
That is giant salvinia.
And this little plant is costing the state big bucks, $8 million a year, as the plant spreads at a rapid pace. And the warm winter from Mother Nature was no help.
And this year, with a mild winter like we had, I'm expecting it to be maybe a little worse, for sure.
Now, the big issue with this salvinia plant is that it grows so large, it blocks out all the sunlight from getting inside the lake here, which in turn stops the oxygen from getting to the water.
Microscopic algae produce the oxygen, they die with no sunlight. In turn, the fish die with no oxygen. And this floating water fern spreads like the plague.
If left unattended to, it has the ability to double its biomass every 5 to 7 days.
The salvinia is native to Brazil. There's no telling how it ended up in Louisiana.
That's a good shot. That's what it does. You see it? I'm carrying a whole island of it with me.
But one way to cut down on the rapid spread in our state is a basic for all boaters.
A lot of the ways that it's transported from water body to water body is it gets picked up on trailers.
Make sure you clean your trailers and your boats after every trip in the water. In Iberville Parish, Jason Newton, NBC 33 News. Not all the gifts are under the tree before sunrise Christmas morning. That's where Gregory Green steps in.
Hopefully that makes somebody's day.
He's a city carrier for the post office, making rounds with last-minute packages and presents to deliver early Christmas morning.
Well, I got a call from Santa, I guess, that they had a few packages that need to be delivered that he couldn't get around to, so I gave him the okay.
From PQ to Bluebonnet to Sherwood, he's dropping off packages at a pace that would even make jolly old St. Nick jealous.
I like being outside, like being out, not really the office type of person.
It may be a holiday, but his efforts don't go unnoticed.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Little Jolie saw the mailman outside and decided to spread some cheer.
Well, I looked out my window and I was opening some presents and I was doing this thing and I saw you and I'm like, oh, that's cool.
A homemade reindeer cupcake from a 10-year-old helps make spirits bright.
It's a chocolate and like it used pretzels for the ears and like a vanilla wafer for a mouth and M&Ms for like the nose and then the eyes.
With the load getting light, Green's day is coming to a close. A dedicated worker who wouldn't mind staying home for next year's Christmas deliveries.
I wouldn't mind passing it on, enjoying the holiday, but if I have to work, it's okay with me.
Jason Newton, WBRZ News 2.